This is June 1st, 2026, Salida, Colorado. We're just going to be observing nature in this video, and I'm capable of doing a lot more of that. I don't just talk about things and complex topics. I am actually sensitive to nature areas and places where there's spiritual power. It's just that I take that and I do something with it that isn't really common. That's neither here nor there. We have a common interest, some of us, in this particular spot. This spot right here has a lot of interesting energy here, but I haven't been through all the spots. And so energy is both light and dark, can be intense, during solar flares, even here. This place and world still has duality. There is no such thing. Oh, there I'm going philosopher mode again. There is no such thing as an idea that in reality of nature just being pure and loving, when it actually does have violence, murder, life feeding on life. In this reality, on this planet, that is. So keep that in mind. I really am drawn to, like, places where rivers. See a lot of that in Oregon where there's like a spiral in the water. So I'm sending the affirmation that I'm gonna have a good day today, that I'm not gonna have any issues with other folks. I don't know about the potential of using this as a ley line. I haven't climbed the tower yet for like a live broadcast, but like it sure looks like it's set up. Furthermore, as we look at Dion Fortune's book, Psychic Self-Defense, it's clear that as brilliant as she was, she also had her own allergies to the curry peoples. And some things in life just don't change with some Celtic people. Instead of fight it and be angry, how do we work with it? Well, when it comes to her work, we certainly need to do some cultural appropriation and rewrite the book, The Magical Battle of Britain. And I can do that work by myself without necessarily bringing you with me. But you are witnessing what I'm doing, and you can write about what I'm doing. You can talk about what I'm doing. You can help me with what I'm doing. There's certain reporters out there that I have a pretty positive feeling about, and then there are others that it's like, wah, 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 wah. I want to help Portland remotely. I don't actually want to use magic to cast Oregon out into the sea, but I'd be lying to you if I told you that it didn't cross my mind. What if I could, though? What's that guy say in the movie Ghost? You gotta take all your anger, all your feelings, all your emotions, and just let it explode like a reactor. That's pretty interesting writing when you consider that the sun amplifies our emotions. That can actually explode like a reactor, as well as those regular folks, though. They're like, no, we're not affected by solar flares. It's just you. No, you did it. Oh, right. But the sun, well, let's look at the logic of this. One individual person can cause someone else to have a meltdown while they'll be in denial that the sun can affect their libido, their mood, their agitation, their aggression, their testosterone, their hormones. Well, that's the truth. With regards to Mr. Wilcock, David Wilcock of Netherlands, Colorado, who has reportedly committed suicide during a geomagnetic storm months ago. He has taken the solar flare information and he has applied it to a solar flash theory, which is highly speculative and very new age. It's the idea of basically being rescued by the solar flare rather than the solar flare, actually being disruptive. So we really need to look at the real reality of where consciousness is. Sure, we could really rise much higher with the solar flares if we had more consciousness and community. Right now, we have a lot of unnatural technologies, and I watched that video that I posted for my audience, like, let's watch it together, it'll be fun. He didn't talk about the solar flares at all. He did exactly what I intuitively thought he did in the beginning, which is why I didn't initially watch it. He clickbaited it. And so I'm not trying to be mean to the David Wilcox crowd, but I don't see the appeal. And he claimed he was Edgar Cayce. So all I'm trying to do is provide a healing online to the people that have been looking towards a variety of heroes for answers, when in reality they need to be looking within themselves in many cases, or to each other. You know, the whole idea of the celebrity worship complex has been increasing in recent years with social media instead of decreasing. You would have thought with social media that we would have a way out of the celebrityism concept where people, regular people, could have a voice and be seen. And that's kind of how it started, the internet, YouTube, and now all that's changed, and we've been rerouted back into, now that they control YouTube, Hollywood, the industry, those that control the mainstream media, those that control public opinion, those that control who gets into office, they control YouTube, they control social media. In other words, the idea of the person on the soapbox with very few views actually being more important in some cases than the mainstream media, or having a more important message, you know, we're back to that. And I'm back to that. I'm back to that like underdog spirit after already reaching millions of people. Now locked out of my main YouTube account, starting a brand new channel over with 0 subscribers. Living on a prayer, as Bon Jovi put it. Knowing that I can remanifest again, even with my old channel gone, and having, to be honest with you, evil people that are too corrupted by the dark side of conspiracy theory subscribe to me, that are actually at war with nature and at war with freedom and at war with spirituality. So I have no time for them. No time left for you, on my way to better things and better cities that aren't about to collapse into hell, to be quite frank. Whereas here, okay, to be quite frank, I told you for years and years I've had the vision of the hill, being up on the hill and looking down below for years, waiting for the moment, right? Red skies and just being on the hill and not being down below where the major chaos is going to take place and is taking place, if you have the eyes to see and ears to hear. I would like this to be that moment. Well, I'm saying I don't want it all to tear down. What I'm saying is there's nothing that I'm going to hold on to anymore. Anyone or anything in this society. I'm not going to be the instigator of anything bad in this society, but I'm also not going to be the hero anymore. There's nothing that I can do right now to keep pushing forward that World War III scenario warning and expect people to understand it. It's challenging their worldview that their government is that corrupt, that their government really is that dangerous in what it's done, what it's gotten itself involved in. So I just got to allow them to be that. If this is going to be then a place of silence and contemplation, then I'm going to contemplate within the silence something pretty profound. That then is going to shoot out like a rocket. Forget Elon Musk. It's going to shoot up and out like a rocket, thinking like Def Leppard now, about to start lip singing. Shoot up like a rocket, and my information will reach the moon, will reach Mars. Yeah. Will reach future civilizations. There's no need for me to carry these locals with me to the new planet that I'll be going to. I'll get my spacecraft back. Well, man, where's this coming from? Anyway, so I got to interject some humor here, but I got to be honest. When I was a child, I wanted to build robots and spacecrafts and be in the black helicopter. I wanted my own black helicopter at age 8. Can't blame me, Airwolf was on TV. So anyways, we can turn this river into a ley line portal for magical purposes. That's right. I now know the truth, why everything is high dollar, and not everybody's going to see the multidimensionality of this. And I know why they want me silent here, because in the silence there's actual power. But there's also power in the right amount of speaking if it's properly spread around town, because if the decibel gets too high in the same spot, the Matrix Sentinels are called, essentially. The Sentinels from the Matrix come by just to make sure that everything is fine. At this point, it's beginning to feel like a real video game, where I'm actually hitting buttons and there's a response like, whoa, this is actually a simulation. This is actually a simulation, in fact, where our thoughts have power, right? So in this simulation where my thoughts have power, where my energy is so strong, right, that causes one to really pause and think deeply. About what we're creating or not creating. And then there are some people in spiritual communities that talk about the law of attraction, but they may not even see it themselves for what it is. Or how they are not necessarily seeing things or people as they are, in terms of value. I'll look in the direction of one particular person, who I reached out to, and okay, this person's into Las Vegas. This person's into Las Vegas. Of course, somebody calling themselves number one at divination, into gambling in Las Vegas, whatever's going there, might not feel the call to see me as a person of value if they value things that are common in Vegas, where I've been, where I actually believe there's actually a lot of darkness and manipulation and human trafficking. It's actually not a great place. But I think that I need to go to Vegas to spread this knowledge with the knowledge that I gather here, with the energy that I gather here. Now, we had a few people that are sitting up here listening for a while. 2 people. But they're gone. They didn't want to hear this. It doesn't mean that my information is not valuable. It means that the force field that I've got going on around me has kept me safe. Because, trust me, you don't want a bunch of dangerous people around you in the end times. What do I know about grounding? When people tell me to take a deep breath, if you've gotten to know me for 9 months now, almost 9 months since you've been on the newsletter, some of you less, then you would probably figure out that I know a little bit about meditation even if I talk fast, right? You figured that part out. But the people that don't know me, my audience is gone. They're like, take a deep breath. Are you kidding me, bro? Okay, so grounding near water. Deep breathing, but also engage in vipassana. For best effect, walk over creeks. According to Robert Bruce, this helps with clearing. Okay, so we're going to do this together. Look, I got the sandals on. And we've cleared out the people who don't want the spiritual frequency. See, if I'm loud and I'm boastful, they'll make it like a safety issue. But if I'm spiritual and recording a podcast, there's nothing they can do. I was, when that lady called the police, I was actually standing up for the people that have been genocided in the Middle East. She heard that. She knew what I was about. I was loud. She knew exactly what I was saying. She was a person using that against me. Americans need to stop being afraid of people upset there's genocide. Now, we're going to talk about Czech being banned from the Britain, but mixing music recording and meditation, now that's unique. You better bring the DJ for that one. We got a DJ.fm listening. Maybe we can team up in Portland and I can stay on his couch for $200. He's thinking about it. I don't know if I'm going to come back to Portland. I just want somebody to offer to bring me back to Portland, Oregon. And we'll just get fucked up for a week. We'll stay up for a week. And I'll record it and edit it when I come back to Colorado. How's that sound? Same thing for Vegas. For a while there, I was ready to make an OnlyFans. We're going to do some conscious off-grid pro-monogamy porn. It's going to be inclusive, but, let me just be frank. Things didn't go great with my friend and I, but I was celibate for a long time. Didn't even drink alcohol or coffee. But that last month, I broke all the rules. Went downtown megaphoning. Would be drinking every other day. And so I'm sad that happened. But I know that I became weaker in the ramp up. And so I actually, in my opinion, in my eyes, not only do I think that what I did